help someone who's having that conflict? You said people have to live fantasy to get along. How do you help someone who's miserable and not trying to do that? Like my teenage daughter, for example, she doesn't, they tell her, oh, you gotta go to YouTube and go watch this. Oh, you gotta tweet, do you have Facebook yet? And she's like, I don't do any of that, I don't like that. And she feels the misery of not having friendships because of that.
Give her the encouragement that she's living more realistically than they are. They're being lied to. Your daughter is living truthfully, sincerely, honestly. She is realistic. She sees what the world is for what it is. You simply encourage them. Okay?
Realistic.
That's why I wish Catholic philosophy would be back in high schools again, in colleges. It's the realistic tradition.
You know, Father, because you talked about movies and stuff, and one of the things I find very interesting, I don't know if any of you guys ever saw the movie Avatar, or at least the previews or whatever, but it's all about like fantasy world and whatever. It's interesting because the people that promote these movies, they would truly, really believe the world that they create in their mind, then believe the possibility of God existing.
Yeah.
They would really think, they find it, they'd rather that you and they themselves believe that all these other things are possible, but this idea of a God is impossible.
But those other things don't make any demand on you.
Yep, exactly. There's no demand.
Yeah, it's so far out there that you don't have to be demanding or responsible.
No morality.
Fantasy.
That's why it's fantasy.
It's fantasy.
You can come up with your own solar system, you can come up with your own value system, you can come up with anything you want. And I have the right to do this, and I have the right to be given it.
Now.
I have the right to take another life, but don't dare take my life, or I'll sue you.
Dead or alive.
Dead or alive, yeah. This is why, we're really in a battle. That's why the presence of God has to be promoted, taught. And when I did my literature search, see how much was written on it, there was very little on the presence of God. That's why God wants me to write this book on it. You got a lot of books on suffering, you got a lot of books on grace, you got a lot of books on sacrament, you got a lot of books on pastoral counseling, you got a lot of books on devotions, the virtues, hardly anything on the presence of God.
Well, hurry up, we want to read it. I want to read it before I die, Father.
Before she stands in the
Look,
presence
if you
of God.
die, you'll be living it.
You're not going to meet the book.
I wish you had it.
That Father Earley was right.
You, Father Earley, I know you're right now.
This is the third.
No, this is why I think
Olivia had a
we
question.
have to give a lot of attention to our young people, really educate them, keep them close to the faith. Let them have fun in studying the faith. Bring in science, let them know. I mean, if we approach our young people with all the different fields and livelihoods, but from a Catholic perspective, they'll jump at it. They'll jump at it. Alrighty. Oh, 4:30. Divine office.
I know it doesn't have a comment.